Hello everyone, welcome back. Please comment, subscribe, folks. Comment, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos. I want to thank you folks for watching and sharing my videos. You folks are the absolute best. Listen, it's time for me to talk about the trade deadline stuff that's going on and this Jamal Adams situation, which has completely spiraled out of control, as we can clearly see. First, I'm going to talk about the Leonard Williams trade. We traded Leonard Williams to the Giants for a third-round pick and a fifth-round pick. The fifth-round pick could turn into a fourth-round pick if they sign into an extension, which I fully think that they will. So we'll probably end up with that third-round pick and that fourth-round pick, two picks in the mid-rounds. This is a phenomenal trade by Joe Douglas. I didn't think we would even get that much for him. I really thought that we would probably end up going into free agency and just getting the compensatory pick for the 2021 draft, as I think it would come if Leonard Williams was to move on and go to another team. So that's what I thought was going to happen, but we ended up with a solid pick. And the Giants, that could be kind of a high pick from the Giants. They're not a great team. Two picks in the mid-rounds to continue to help us build out our football team and to move on from Leonard Williams, who I do not think was a bad player, but just wasn't what we needed. And it gives him a clean start. He gets to, stay in the area. I heard he likes, that New Jersey, New York area, so he gets to stay here. So good on him. He's a USC guy. I wish him absolutely nothing but the best. Fight on, continue to do your thing with that other team. But it gives us, again, more capital to go forward with our team and continue to build out our team because we need quite a bit here. So that was a good move by Joe Douglas. Now moving on to the Jamal Adams situation. Whoa, this situation is, spiral out of control, okay? And the fan base has completely turned on Jamal Adams. The thing I don't understand about this fan base, and I'm gonna explain, and we're gonna go through this, so it's gonna be a little bit, but let me tell you something. I don't understand why this fan base just immediately believes whatever the franchise says in this situation, because the front office of this team has shown to lie quite a bit and be caught in lies as well. Just a couple months ago, let's take it back. There were rumors coming out that Adam Gase never wanted Le'Veon Bell, and he didn't want him here and he didn't want him signed. Well, those reports were coming out left and right. Adam Gase denied them vehemently. The franchise denied them vehemently. Those reports came out to be true. He did not want Le'Veon Bell. He didn't want him to be signed for as much money as he got, and he actually would have preferred to go with Tevin Coleman. Okay, so that's a lie. So then we go into, there were reports coming out that Mike Maccagnan was going to get fired because Mike Maccagnan and Adam Gase did not get along and that Adam Gase wanted him to get fired. Man, let me tell you something. Those reports were coming out for months, and the entire fan base called the people that were reporting them idiots. They called them stupid. They said they didn't know what the hell they were talking about. The fan base was shelling the people, shelling them on social media, whether it be Twitter, whatever form of social media, calling these guys hacks, saying they had no clue what they were talking about. Chris Johnson came out and denied it. Adam Gase denied it vehemently. I think he called it fake news at one point. Mike Maccagnan wouldn't speak on it. And for months, they denied it. And 2 weeks after the draft, they fired, or a couple weeks after the draft, may have been a month, they fired Mike Maccagnan. This was after he hired Adam Gase. This was after free agency where he spent a ton of money. And this was after the draft. They fired Mike Maccagnan. And the reports were going on all throughout that hey, they're going to fire him. And they know they're going to fire him. And that came out to be a lie. You look at the situation with Joe Douglas, even him being here. He just lied a couple weeks ago. This dude was sending blank MRIs to Kelechi Osemele's doctor to keep him from getting a shoulder surgery. He just did that. He just did that. I want to remind y'all that he just did that. He just did that, dude. And when Kelechi Osemele and him had a face-to-face conversation, he tried to backtrack and say that it was, it was just an honest mistake. What? So it's an honest mistake for you to send blank MRIs. It's very easy to clear that up, but you just keep sending blank MRIs. So when the fan base is really just siding with the franchise and just listening to whatever Joe Douglas says and saying, hey, that's the truth, I don't know, dude. Because I tend to kind of believe Adams' story a little bit more. I don't agree with how Jamal Adams has necessarily reacted, but I do believe his story a bit more. And that's why it can make me understand a bit more why Jamal is acting the way that he is. Basically, it all started with Jamal Adams sitting down with Joe Douglas and Adam Gase before the trade deadline, and them saying, "Hey, we're not going to trade you. You're one of the cornerstones of the franchise. You know, we're not going to move on from you. That's that. Don't even worry about it." Okay, cool. Then there's rumors coming out that the Jets are trying to shop him, and that Jamal Adams is requesting to be traded. Jamal Adams then tweets and says, "Hey, I am not requesting to be traded. That is not true." And, you know, other things on his Twitter. You know, they are lying and all these other things. So here's the deal. It looks like the GM, Joe Douglas, did say, to me, I believe that he did say those things, that he was a cornerstone, and then he went and did try to shop him. Jamal Adams also went on to say that he knows people around the NFL. He talked about Michael Irvin, talked about all those guys, talked about his agent saying, "Hey, the Jets are trying to shop you." They came and told him, "Hey, they're trying to shop you," and that he requested that they trade him to Dallas if they could. Send me to Dallas if you can. Again, he knows people, he knows what's going on, so he knows he's being shopped. I fully believe that, and I do believe that when he figured out, hey, they're going to trade me anyway, that he requested to go to Dallas. I absolutely believe that. The deal falls apart. They couldn't get the job done, so of course Adams is pissed off. He's pissed off that they traded him, pissed off that they lied to him, and he's extremely upset about this. Two other guys that were also getting shopped, supposedly as well, is Le'Veon Bell, which I was completely shocked that they would even be shopping him, but whatever. And then you have Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson and Le'Veon Bell seem to have taken this a bit better, and I think there's some reasons why they take a bit better. Le'Veon Bell has been through this process. He's a guy, sat out, fought, got his money, when he got paid here. But Le'Veon Bell also comes from a winning program too. So he's won before in the NFL. You look at Robbie Anderson, Robbie is, all smiles, good to go. But I think Robbie's all smiles and good to go because it's going to end up good for Robbie regardless, because the offseason is coming. And Robbie, more than likely, is going to be out of here because they were trying to trade him too. If we do try to keep Robbie, we're going to have to overpay him. And if we don't try to keep Robbie, he going to move on to another team as quickly as possible to either who pays him the most or a contender. So Robbie is all good either way it goes. But those guys did handle it better than Jamal Adams, I think, has handled it. Jamal has come out, talked about, and one of the things that really killed him in this situation, something he should have never said, but he did it anyway. He talked about how, he was upset because he's done everything that they asked him to do. He's done everything the right way. He's blood, sweat, and tears. Anything they told me to do, I did. And then he said, "Hey, this was a stupid statement, but he did say it. The Patriots don't take calls, when it comes to Tom Brady. The Rams don't take calls when it comes to Aaron Donald." And that made it easy for the franchise, the fans of the franchise to completely turn on him. And every radio personality, everybody is saying the same thing. What in the hell makes you think you're even on the level of those guys? You got Tom Brady, who's won so much. You got Aaron Donald, you're not even on the level of those guys. What is on your brain? You're selfish. You're egotistic. You think it's all about you, so on and so forth. He did try to come out with a tweet to kind of clean it up. He said, he doesn't think he's the greatest, but he does hold himself in a high regard. And I think what he was trying to say when he said that, this is what I think he was trying to say, is that, look, I'm one of the best players on this team, if not the best player on that team, which, again, if you would have asked people in the offseason before the season started, definitely people would have probably agreed that Prez was either the best player on the team or one of the best players on the team, easily. So, all right, so you don't take calls on guys that want to be here and are willing to lay it all on the line and are one of the best players on your team. You just shouldn't take a call on me, especially when you told me to my face that you would not take calls on me, that you were not going to trade me. Because, again, there was some going back and forth between the Jets and Dallas. And so if there's going back and forth, even though Dallas didn't offer the exact package that you wanted, if they would have, you would have traded him. So you were shopping him. So, like, is that not shopping him? So, man, but this has gotten out of hand, man. It's really gotten out of hand. I honestly believe that we're probably going to end up getting rid of him in the offseason. And that's why it makes it kind of easy for me to believe that he actually probably wanted to stay here. Because if he wanted to go, he could have just waited until the offseason and then just requested a trade and we would have got rid of him. Like, anybody could see that. Why come out with a tweet saying you don't request a trade? Why do all this stuff? I think it's literally because he did want to be here, and they did talk to him, and he said he wanted to be here, and they said they wouldn't trade him, and then and I know a lot of fans are looking at and saying, well, his body language, and he's saying he's tired of losing. Yeah, he is tired of losing. I completely understand that point, because a lot of people are thinking that he's only been here for this 1-6 year. Dude, he was here when Todd Bowles and Mike McCagnon was here. He's been here. So guess what? He is tired of losing. He was on losing teams since he's been here. I think he's only won 10 games in his NFL career. 10 games. He's only won 10 games. And it's not because of him why we're losing. It's because of, especially this year, it's because of Adam Gase. We're losing because of Adam Gase. And that's another thing I think fans in this fan base are doing. They're redirecting their anger from Adam Gase onto Jamal Adams. What the hell are you guys doing? Are you taking your eyes off the prize, guys? The problem is Adam Gase. Adam Gase is the reason why we're 1-6. If we have any other innovative offensive mind, we're not 1-6. We win more games than just one this year so far. All right? If you have Sean McVay, if you have Sean Payton, Andy Reid, hell, if we have Mike McCarthy, you're not 1-6. We're not 1-6. A big reason why we're 1-6 is because Adam Gase doesn't understand how to utilize his offensive weapons. He doesn't understand how to protect his QB. So, this offense is terrible. And it's because of Adam Gase. It's one of the reasons why we're losing. So, but man, the fan base is completely turned on him. You got people in this fan base that are calling him a bum, saying that he was never good, all kinds of stuff that was crazy. And you know what's even crazier about this situation? Is that there was a person on Twitter, I forgot his name, but he was the analytics guy. And he talked about trading Jamal Adams for this exact same reason in the offseason. He was talking about this early. Actually, it was before the offseason. It was late in the season. And they were saying, hey, Jamal's a great player, but he's a safety. He's a guy at a position that isn't as impactful as pass rusher. Maybe we should move on from him, trade him, garner some picks from that trade, and then move forward with those picks. And the fan base shelled him for that. Completely shelled him. They called him idiot, said he didn't know what he was talking about, said that he was a fake Jet fan, all kinds of stuff. And they are echoing the exact same sentiments that he was making with his, logical thought. It's crazy. This fan base is crazy, man. This fan base is completely crazy. My opinion, do I want to trade Jamal Adams? No, I don't want to trade Jamal Adams. But I don't think we have a choice. Honestly, we really don't. And it's because of two things. Because of the situation that's been created, and also because we're so depleted at positions of impact here. And I've been talking about this for years. Dude. I get so pissed off that I have to talk about this every year, the same thing every year. Ever since Mike McCagnon had been here, which is the reason I wanted his ass fired, coming up into this year, we've always needed cornerback help. Outside of, I think, maybe the first year when he got all that money and signed all those players. Outside of that, we've always needed cornerback help. We've always needed a pass rusher, right? And we've always needed offensive line help. And he's always handled all three of those positions horribly. From signing Ryan Clady, a guy that was always injured, to Spencer Long, to all these other bums that you kept bringing in here that were often injured, that had long injury histories, that just did not get the job done. You look at the corner situation, you drafted Justin Burris, who never did anything. Perry Nickerson is gone. You look at guys like Tremaine Johnson, who you signed and gave a ton of money. Trash. Pass rushers, where they at? I remember he drafted Lorenzo Malden. That didn't work out. Never was able to get anybody after him. Completely whiffed on the pass rusher position this offseason, even though he had $100 million. And the Zardarius Smith and Preston Smith was out there, didn't even get a whiff at those guys. Those guys are gone. He didn't even look for a pass rusher, and there were a bunch of them out there. Never drafted a decent one to come in here either. So when you look at that situation, we've been void of talent at those positions for so long. And this is during a rebuild where you're supposed to analyze and fix those things. We're now paying the price for that. And honestly, we're probably going to have to get rid of him. We're going to get rid of him in the offseason. Or I truly believe that he could end up forcing his way out of here if he really wants to at this point now, because he's so upset and the relationship is so fractured with him and the franchise. But man, it's crazy. This is completely crazy. I don't even know what to say about it. Like I said, I've never seen somebody that was literally the face of the franchise where you have fans turned on him, and there are people talking about booing him at the next game. I just, man, I don't know what's going on, dude. I don't know what's going on. So comment down below, folks. Let me know what you folks think. This Jamal Adams situation is crazy, and it's getting crazier. It is what it is. This team is a complete mess. And, you know, hopefully we just get this sorted out and can get it back on track soon. So thank you folks for listening. You folks have a good day. Peace.